Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Slice of Gaming podcast, episode 112. This is episode for August 22nd, 2025. I am your host, the Uncharted Wolf, and I am joined today by a pretty packed cast. We are talking about Gamescom. We're talking about a certain indie game that came out or is coming out soon. And then just some other little tidbits that happened throughout the week. I'm joined today by the truther, the believer, Fusion.
I think I said on the podcast last week, I said I'd be playing Silksong within the next 6 weeks. Is that what I said?
By end of October, I think you said.
And here we are. Here we are, getting a release date. And 2 weeks away.
I'm also joined by Bench.
Yes, there's still no Tales of. I keep waiting at every event.
You just got a Tales remaster.
But it's like the mid one.
The JRPG fans are never happy, man. You can give them a game
for them.
a game a week and they'll complain.
Okay, but this is the one that no one's excited for.
I mean, sure, I guess. And then I'm also joined by Moon.
Silksong Is Real. Silksong Is Real.
Hell yeah. All right, well, as we heard, Silksong is indeed real. We're going to talk about that. Like I said, Gamescom opening night live. A lot of stuff happening this week. Let's get right into it. First and foremost, Silksong Is Real. We got a new date, September 4th. Fusion, just go off.
Yeah, this was kind of like the whole thing where last week on the podcast we were talking about, like, I said it was going to be an opening night live. It was going to get like a release date. Didn't get a release date. It did show up at opening night live, kind of in a weird way. Jeff came out and he's like, he did that thing again where it was very similar opening to Summer Game Fest when he's like a small indie from Australia, but I forget what game opened up opening night. I mean, Summer Game Fest where he did that with. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. But it was the whole thing of like he went on the spiel about indies again, blah blah, and then he brought up Silksong and he showed us some gameplay, and then he was like, "Tune in 2 days for the Silksong."
Yeah, at that point, just give him the trailer. That's fucked up.
Yeah, and it was weird that the clips he showed weren't from the trailer, and they were also super zoomed in. I don't know if anyone noticed that. Like, when they showed Silksong at opening night live, like, it wasn't a full picture of the game. It was like a very zoomed in.
Gamescom.
Yeah, it was like very just weirdly zoomed in. But either way, it doesn't matter. Thursday hits, and everyone's waiting. That live stream had almost 400,000 viewers watching an indie game for a reveal trailer. Like, it is insane. The trailer hits, the trailer looks amazing, the music sounds amazing, and we're gonna play it in 2 weeks. And I am so excited. It was the whole thing of like, I know a few people here have like been pretty adamant like this thing's gonna shadow drop, aka Binks. Like, Binks has been someone that's like, oh, they're 100% gonna shadow drop this, and I was like, I don't want a shadow drop because like I wanted a pre-hype cycle with a release date that I could actually be excited for. And like, I'm happy it is 2 weeks away. That gives me 2 weeks to think about a release date and think about the day coming up. The no review codes, I'm sure we'll get into later, is a little weird, but at the end of the day, I'm just so excited that Silksong Is Real has a date, and it's right around the corner.
Yeah, man, you were also very excited about this.
Yeah, and I was kind of a believer of the shadow drop up until the point when someone on Reddit kind of pointed out that, oh yeah, this whole thing did start on Kickstarter, and then a stipulation on Kickstarter was the whole, backers need to get this before the general public. And as soon as that hit, I'm like, oh yeah, so this thing is definitely not getting shadow dropped. And I didn't believe the whole 2 week thing. I thought we would at least get like a month beforehand. And then, yeah, now we're all 2 weeks away, and it's still weird to think that that's the truth. And yeah, I'm excited now. I'm clearing out my schedule. Like, okay, yeah, early September, that's all done. I'm not sorry, Kronos. You'll be caught in the backlog sometime later this year.
Yeah, very unfortunate release day, I will say, as someone who wants to play this game. It's kind of knee deep, like a week after all the August drops, and then the same week as Kronos, and I think it's a few days before a bunch of other games. So it's kind of like very much the big game. I actually saw some indie games get delayed, and they were straight up like, "Yeah, it's because of Silksong." It's very funny to see them basically just go like, "Yeah, we admit it's just because of Silksong. We're gonna try to get out of the way." My favorite was Aggro Crab, where they said, "Hey, we know you're gonna drop Peak in 2 weeks or we're going to be busy with Silksong in 2 weeks." And everyone's like, "Oh no, poor Aggro Crab." It's like, oh no, we're the ones playing Silksong.
I didn't see that, but that's great.
Yeah. So I really respect that. Game looks awesome. I mean, this looks like the game that we've been waiting 7 years for. And we got a few more details from Schreier's interview with Team Cherry, specifically the two devs. We all read this article. This was a very funny article because it was that thing of like, oh, this game went through development hell, or they changed engines and all these type of things that may have happened. It was literally, they were like, no, we just kept adding to it, and we were having so much fun making the game. And specifically, I have this quote from Wario64 that I extracted out. Team Cherry on Hollow Knight Silksong taking 7 years to dev. It was never stuck or anything. It was always progressing. It's just the case that we're a small team and games take a long time. There wasn't any big controversial moment behind it. We're very fortunate that we have a development method that is so enjoyable. The team already has some ambitious plans ahead for post-launch / extra content to Silksong. Post-release content is immediately like, oh god, how long is that going to take? Is that going to be a new game that people start losing their minds over? But yeah, future. I mean, I think we were kind of discussing this, and this was one of the theories we had, where it's just like they're a small team and they probably just had a lot of ideas, and feature creep was coming in, and they kind of talk about like, yeah, Hollow Knight was so successful, we had that fun to just make. We didn't have to worry about money or funds or anything, or paying team and like all that stuff. We just were two guys making a game.
Yeah, it's that thing where it's the one annoying thing I'm getting from this article is there's people around the internet that's like, they're upset that it wasn't something tragic that happened. Like they're like, oh, it was really just a few people making a fun video game, having fun, and it took time because that's what video games do. Like, this is what we should be celebrating in the industry. Yes, it sucks to wait 7 years for a video game, but we talk about corporations and publishers and games feeling dead and having no joy and like no creativity. And in a game like this, like Silksong, that's going to come out and hopefully be as good as it looks, they did the development the right way. Yes, they could have talked more, and that might have been nice, but like, how many times do we just get the same trailers from every other game? We've seen Onimusha 7 times, and it's been nothing new, and we still don't have a release date for that. It's like, you're either going one route where it's like, okay, they have nothing to show, so they're just going to keep telling us, hey, we're still working on it. That does nothing for the fan base. Or then you sit quiet, and people just get upset that you're not talking. But my thing is like, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that they're still happy with this game. It sounds like that thing of, yeah, we could keep going for actual years. Like, there's a quote in there where they're like, yeah, we had to actually stop drawing things because we were just going to add everything we drew. Like, they are 100% still in on Silksong and on the post-launch content and everything else. That it's like, it's exciting to hear that through this entire 7 years, they had fun the entire time. There was never a time when they're like, we don't want to make this anymore, or this is boring, or we're burnt out. It was just a thing of, no, we keep having so much fun that we want to keep going and building the game.
Yeah, and for like, just as someone looking from the outside in, it's just really cool that they were just having fun on top of just it coming so soon for the people that have been looking forward to it, as someone will get to it eventually. Just knowing that it's going to be playable and available now after so many years, and I'm sure it's going to be beloved, is an exciting thing.
Yeah, 100%. It seems like people are very, very excited to play this. I'm excited to play it. I really like Hollow Knight. And one last thing, they did mention in the article, Stealth40k extracted this. Team Cherry confirmed that Hollow Knight sold over 15 million copies, which is pretty fucking insane. 15 million, that makes it up there for one of the most successful indie games of all time. I'm actually not sure what would be above it. Probably Hades?
No, it's not, but Stardew Valley is.
Oh, Stardew Valley.
Yeah, Stardew Valley. Probably Peak. I don't know. I mean, what Peak
No,
already
Peak
sold?
is
Well, I
10.
guess it's at 10 million, but I'm sure Peak by the end of it. I think the last because I was wondering about Hades. The last Hades number we got was 10.5. I forget how long ago that was, but like,
not enough.
I would say it could definitely be over 15 by this point. But I remember the last number we got from Hades was 10.5.
I remember Dead Cells being kind of insane. Let me check that real quick, because
I see that's
on mobile.
It's also like, is Rust an indie game? Like, is like
Vampire Survivors, maybe?
Dead Cells is 10 million.
Terraria, that's an indie team.
Terraria. If you really want to count it, Minecraft.
I would say, yeah,
Undertale.
Minecraft the best-selling video game. Undertale, yeah, that's up there. Was Slay the Spire high? I think that was like 5 million, though. It's not as crazy. I think it also helps. Hollow Knight's like a $15 video game. So like,
yeah,
that,
I would say
it always went
$15. It's like I got it for $10 this week through like a Steam key. It's like it's an accessible price and very easy to get your hands on.
Yeah, so it's not surprising that it's sold so much. I just really loved reading the article. They were out there having the time of their lives. When at one point they even mentioned it's like, yeah, during the COVID, like our town didn't have COVID cases for months, so we just went out for brunch and tea while everyone else was going crazy. It's like these motherfuckers. Like I almost didn't want to read that. Like, you're just living your life.
Yeah, it's like
All
not only
stuff
that, but they're a
months.
2-person team, so it's not like they had a whole studio that had to go into quarantine. It's like they just had to ask each other, like, "You got COVID? No. You got COVID? No. Okay, we're good."
And I remember one of the original rumors was that it just stopped development during most of COVID due to just circumstances, and that I guess that's just unfounded now.
Yeah, that's literally wrong. They were saying it's like, yeah, we were still working on the game, so
I think it's like it's that thing. My last thing on it is just like it's that thing where so many people were so annoyed of the quietness and them just not talking that everyone just wanted to make a rumor to believe on why it wasn't coming. You know what I mean? It was a thing of like the COVID thing or the whole thing of like the engine change or something they must have been burnt out or like blah, blah. Like it felt like everyone came up with any excuse. No one could just admit that maybe they're just making a video game and it takes a while. Like that's just how it works. It's a very, very small team. It's like there's like it's just how it works. And it's like at the end of the day, they had fun and they're still having fun to this day. And it's like that's really what it's all about. It's what again, like I said earlier, this is exactly what we want from the industry. Yeah, it sucks to always wait this long, but it is the thing. If we want a healthy industry, Silksong is a definition of something that is healthy in this industry.
I think it's just an issue with communication, really, Fusion, is that yeah, take your time, like 7 years, sure.
It's a
And it's not-
communication thing, and somewhere along the lines they should have put the brakes on themselves and be like, okay, we need to, as they purposely said, yeah, we just kept coming up with ideas like, oh, we should add this to the game, add this to the game. It's like, okay, you need to realize we need to put a cap on this and save something for DLC or a later game or something. It's like we need to just focus on what is this game and just make the game and put a stop. Like, here's what we want in the game. It's like, no, let's just keep adding more stuff.
What's that
Honestly,
idea of feature creep, which can really screw over a game? And I don't think it screws over this game because, again, it's just two people. They don't have to worry about layoffs or anything. But I think some games have way too much stuff going on at once or they're way too long and it's just over the top. And it's like, okay, well, now the game is substantially worse because of all this.
I don't think the feature creep will be a thing with this game, like you said, but I do think like an update a year maybe would have gone a longer way. Because if you look at not even just like a blog post, like if you look at something like maybe not the best example, but Black Myth Wukong, it was in development for 5+ years, but you knew on a certain day of the year you were going to get some sort of update about that project. And I think that kind of kept people along and I guess sane. And I think just something like that maybe have been better, but it's not going to hurt the game success in the long run either. So what they did is just what they did.
No one will think about the wait for this game like 2 years afterwards. Like it's just not gonna matter.
I mean, it's gonna definitely be like in the public consciousness as like a joke. It's like, remember the wait for Silksong? It's gonna be a joke forever in the industry, but
I mean,
yeah, in the long run, it's still gonna be like, hey, remember how good Silksong was?
yeah, I almost think it's kind of gonna be like Kingdom Hearts 3, where that took so long, and then it came out, and then afterwards we kind of just joke about it taking so long, but we don't hold it against the game.
Oh, I think some people still do, but that's also because the game was also now very middling to the fans.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess in that case, I don't know. What's a long wait game that was good?
It's going to be Silksong is now going to be the long wait, and it's going to be worth it.
There's definitely one. I can't think of.
I mean, Wukong was good, but
Wukong was good.
That's what we
no, say never say so.
Last of Us 2 was good.
That was not a long wait. That was like
wasn't a super long wait.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima was a couple years.
Yeah, but then you heard from those games.
2017.
Yeah, and you heard from those games. I think Andy Cortez from Kind of Funny said it perfectly. He's like, Silksong is probably, this might be the only time ever in the industry for at least a long time where we have something exactly like the Silksong timeline of like everyone before an event going to a post and just saying Silksong, so like just spamming it. It's like, we'll probably never get this again. So it's hard to compare to be like, well, this game went this long and came out like, I don't know off the top of my head.
Breath of the Wild.
There's Breath of the Wild's probably one, but like that was like we kind of heard about it.
Yeah.
GTA 6 next year, that could be the one. Listen, guys, Beyond Good and Evil 2 will come out one day. There's a
Fable.
chance it's good. So
Fable?
I mean, Fable, that's not coming out. I have more faith in Beyond Good and Evil 2 than Fable. Yeah, Duke Nukem Forever eventually came out. That wasn't good. Psychonauts 2 took a while. That was like revealed
Mighty
like
number
10
9?
years before it came out. No, let's not. Alan Wake 2? Was that no, Alan Wake 2
that
was
was only
revealed like
about
2
a
years.
2-year
Yeah.
buffer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it says it. I mean, Mother 3, that was
Mhm.
about 10 years, but that's still not out in the US, so it's hard to even count it.
It's an elite group.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
a leader group of the ones that succeeded after that way.
Judas at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we're talking about Bioshock later. It's like some games just take a long ass time to make because they go through development issues, and sometimes they get through unscathed, and sometimes it's just an absolute mess. So we'll see. But yeah, shout out to Silksong Fusion. You won. Victory for you.
Silksong no matter what.
It is funny to put like a game getting a release date, like one game getting a release date over opening night live, but that's just how big Silksong is at this point. Pretty easily you would see this to be like one of the best selling games of the year, I think.
I think so. I
There's
think
just
it's
so
going.
much hype.
I think it's even going to be better than like we're expecting because like right now in my head, I don't. This is going to sound crazy. I don't think it's going to have Elden Ring level hype of word of mouth after Elden Ring came out, but I could see like even 30% of that where it's just like people are going to be playing Silksong, posting like, "Oh, I just discovered this secret. Oh, I just did this boss fight." I think it's going to have that same type of wavelength out there on the internet. I think people are going to be very interested in like all the secrets, figuring out the bosses, boss patterns, like what's the hardest boss battle. I think it's going to have that type of
40
impact.
bosses, 40 bosses, 200 enemies, and I still saw motherfuckers on Twitter going, "I ain't paying 40 for this." Like, come on.
I think it's 40.
I think it's 30. I think they go double the price of Hollow Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're kind of like, oh, then we want to still get people in the door. God, remind me, was Hi-Fi Rush 30 or 40?
$30.
Yeah, it was $30.
I think it was
Yeah, so
30.
like, I think more developers are starting to utilize the $30 price point.
Talk about a game later that maybe shouldn't be 70.
All right. Well, let's talk about opening that live. Fusion, you had your fun with Silksong, but what did you think of opening that live? Especially when Jeff Keighley decided to tease Silksong.
What are we also giving review scores?
Review
Like,
score?
you-
Yeah, you
for
can.
that. Okay. I would say overall as a show, I'll get into my thoughts and I'll put a score at the end. I'll say like it was opening night live. Like when you think of opening night live, this was opening night live. It's not like this show wasn't like, oh, this is a surprising opening night live. They changed the formula. They did anything different. No, this was just Gamescom opening night live that we've seen 5 or 6 times now at this point. I don't think it was the worst opening night live. I don't think it was the best. I don't know if there is a best. I think they're all kind of just about the same. When it comes down to a score for me, I say at like a 5 to a 6 range. I think it was just a fine show. I think it had really cool games I'm interested in, but I think the actual format of Opening Night Live and the pacing and everything from a show, putting on a show perspective, I think is easily Jeff's worst show. Like when it comes to Summer Game Fest, the Game Awards, Opening Night Live. I think sometimes the reviews, I mean, the reveals and stuff are cool, but the pacing and how we get through those games never feels quite right compared to his other showcases.
What about you, Moon?
I mean, I can't give a full review because I was watching it mute, and then I missed like the back half of it because I was working. But I definitely agree. There was definitely a pacing issue, and that's always seems to be a reoccurring thing with this show. And the reveals for me just never seem to land because opening night live always seems to land in this awkward zone of reveals of. It just seems to be in an awkward time for a lot of studios. Like, we're not ready to reveal a lot of stuff for our big game, so we get a lot of re-reveals of a lot of stuff or just updates of a lot of stuff we already know about, and the new stuff is always just these weird indies and AA stuff, which is cool a lot of the time because we get some cool reveals, but it's never big stuff. So yeah, it's always very middling for me. So if I had to grade it, like a C plus B minus, depending on the games that I'm interested in.
Yeah, I think I'm like kind of average, not even average, mediocre on the score. This show, geez, it's just the same opening night live that it is every year. Just a lot of slop, a lot of like I don't care games that really just kind of look the same. A lot of on stage interviews that really don't need to happen. It just kind of comes across as like just yet another opening night live. I don't really feel anything for this show. It's the worst paced out of the Jeff shows. And every Jeff show, I'm always like, what do these need to be 2 hours? Like genuinely, it gets to the point of like opening night live is 2 hours. Like you can't just have that be 1 hour. And also, Jeff, I gotta give you a real quick slap on the ass for this. What do you mean E3 is back? It's just in Germany now. Disrespectful as fuck, man. That's so messed up. So that's my little hater cap on. And also, listen, admittedly, I like the pre-show more than the main show. There was just more stuff for me, at least, that I was way more interested in the pre-show. Other than Lego Batman, which we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, overall, just like a pretty mediocre 5 out of 10 show to me. Just I don't really care that much.
Yeah, I'd give it about a 6.5. I'd definitely like just okay. And I think the main show for me had some higher highs. I just felt the pre-show was definitely more consistent with games that are interesting, even if they aren't like, oh, I'm super duper into this. But it's just like it's a video game showcase in this time of year. It was okay. I had one big surprise that's kind of niche for our group, but still enjoyed seeing that. And we'll talk about our highlights and lowlights, I bet, soon.
Yeah, let's talk about highlights. Listen, I'm just gonna take it. My highlight. Listen, it's Lego Batman. Are you kidding me? Lego Batman. What was the full title? Shouts to our boy Jack in the community. When I say community or worker. He Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight. He put in all the stuff that was announced in a big list format, so I appreciate that. This game looks fucking awesome. I was shocked by how into it I've been. I really like the Arkham games. Lego games I grew up with, but over the years I'm like, yeah, they're just whatever to me. I don't really feel anything for the Lego games. But this is the one where I'm like, wait, no, this one will get me in because it's just a straight up Lego game with Arkham combat, which is like, yes, that's it. That's how you got to do it. And I saw a lot of jokes about like Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. It's like these games are supposed to be the successors to Batman Arkham, but the Lego game seems to be the actual successor to the Arkham games. So that's extremely exciting. I cannot wait for this game. It seems to be doing all the movies. They did stuff for the Batman. They did stuff for the Nolan trilogy. So I'm curious to see how much they adapt. I wonder if they do like Brave and the Bold or like Batman 89. How hardcore, because like they might do Skywalker Saga where they adapt everything, like all the movies. I kind of doubt that. I think they probably just stick to the Nolan trilogy and maybe the Arkham games and then do the Batman. But it depends on how hardcore they want to get. And also I found it really funny. Arkham games don't have not NPCs walking around the street. Like Arkham Knight was like, oh, there's a curfew, so they can't walk the street. Lego Batman, they're walking around the street. So I found that very funny. It's like, wow, the Lego game is the first Arkham game with actual NPCs walking around. But yeah, that's one for me. I really am digging it.
Yeah, about Batman, I got the impression that it's not going to have separate Lego campaigns for different movies. I think it's going to be one campaign that's lengthy that just fits in like all those storylines into one continuous thing. I think it's what they're going for.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm into that a lot. I don't want to separate them very heavily. It's just like, hey, just do one continuous story. I'm curious. The one thing I'm kind of like iffy on is the voice for Batman. Obviously, they couldn't get Kevin Conroy, rest in peace. But it's weird because it doesn't sound like Roger Craig Smith either. And he did Arkham Shadow and Arkham Origins, and he does a great job in that role. So I'm wondering, it's like, did they get a new guy? Or because the new guy sounds fine, but like I need to talk to Dark about it because it's like I don't recognize that voice at all. And I don't think they've said anything about that. But it is funny. Out of all the announcements, this was by far the one that got the biggest splash online, where like everyone was yapping about it, which is awesome to see. It's like, man, people really just want a new Lego Batman game that kicks ass. Fusion, what's your highlight of the show other than Silksong? You don't get to choose that.
Really didn't, Mikal. I would just say real quick on the Batman thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Is that what you would have preferred TT Games to make? Like, is Batman? My thing with them was like. I was excited for a new Lego game, but like, and I still think this looks really good. But the minute it came out and it was Batman again, I was like, okay, like it just wasn't a thing for me.
I have to be real. I don't really care about what TT Games does. So I was actually pretty happy this is Batman because I'm like, oh, this is basically just a more interesting thing than what I would have assumed, which is, I don't know, an IP I don't really give a shit about, which I don't care about Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, they could have done. I don't give a shit about that. And it's like, I guess Batman, like that's the one I care about. So I'm pretty glad they did this. So yeah, I guess my answer is yeah for that question.
I was just wondering because
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like it just felt like I was like people are really excited for it, but people love Batman, so it makes sense. Anyways, ran over. I'd say my highlight was a surprising one. I would say Ghost of Yotei Legends actually, which is a little weird because
Yeah, surprised to see them enough.
We didn't get much of it. We just got a quick trailer at the end of another trailer that was just okay. That was just like, hey, by the way, we're making this. I was thinking like I really enjoy Legends from Tsushima. Like I think that mode is awesome, and it's that thing of like that is the type of live service stuff Sony should be pushing and should be going after with their live service initiative. So like the fact that I always expect, like, I wouldn't say always expected, but I was pretty convinced that we would get a Legends again with this game. I just didn't think they would ever talk about it till the game at least launched. Like I thought this was gonna be a thing of where Yotei launches and then like 2 months later at a random state of play they'd be like, oh, Legends is on the way, or even a random tweet they'd be like, look, we have Legends coming. So the fact that they've already announced it pre-launch showed me that I think they're going to put a lot of care and even more effort into it than they did with Tsushima, and that's really exciting to me. Like I think this mode isn't the reason I'm buying this game, but I think this mode is just as an extra bonus of being free and everything else. It's just like this is exactly what Sony should be doing with their multiplayer live service stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you right there. I think this Legends was awesome. So basically, just saying, hey, we're gonna get more of that, but like it seems to be a lot more fleshed out. I think is just an overall W. So I'm excited to see that in 2026. So it's not launching with the game like it did with Tsushima. Well, I know it didn't with Tsushima.
I would say it didn't with Tsushima. Like it came quite a while later, actually.
I think it was like yeah. Now I'm remembering. It's like the October of that year, and Tsushima was July. So yeah, maybe like January, February they released this, which makes sense. Moon, what about you? What's your highlight?
Man, there's really just I'm going down the list right now. I'm just like, there's nothing here.
Maybe probably the pre-show for you.
Pre-show, yeah, there's definitely a couple of things, but I'm gonna just go a little weird, and I'm gonna go with this La Divina Commedia, and I think that's just a interesting looking action game with a really cool art style. So I'm just gonna think that I'm gonna say that their last game wasn't a hit at all. So I'm hoping that they learned from their last game and pull off some cool action game for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And hope that they deliver some cool looking like dark atmospheric action game. Because I got nothing here. It's all. And then I also, as much as I don't like Souls, like I hope that Black Myth Zhonghui delivers something that I could be interesting, because I just like Zhonghui as just a mythological character. So here's hoping Zhonghui does something cool for me that I could be interested in.
I was interested in that because it's been documented, my opinion on Black Myth Wukong. But I always love that team's like visual art style and visual design. They nail that shit so well. So to basically be like, hey, we're making a new mythology, not to be Wukong, but like an actual like, Zhonghui, this entirely different mythological figure, is really interesting. I just hope that like, please learn the lessons to like go into that combat system, like change it up, because that's the one thing about Wukong. It's like that combat was bad. I did not like that combat system at all. So if you could just tune that up in some way, that'd be much more exciting.
Yeah, literally, it's like my two highlights are, okay, guys, you guys have some cool concepts of what you showed me here, but your past two projects were not hits for me. So learn something from those and make better things. You have two good promises here, but now let's deliver on them.
What about you, Bench?
So my first, I'll do two because one of them is niche and shouldn't take long. The first one's the Final Fantasy XIV Monster Hunter Wilds crossover. Not as like, yeah, as someone who's recently got back into Final Fantasy XIV, I've caught up on the main story. I've been raiding, leveling up jobs and all that. It's going to be fun to have a Monster Hunter crossover once again, because back when World came out, we had a Rathalos raid added with mounts and gear and all that. And they're doing Arkveld, the creature, the monster from Wilds. And I mean, they go all out for this crossover stuff, so it'll just be a fun thing to experience. And then Omega being in Wilds is also very cool because the lore of Omega kind of is like the Dragon Hunter and the Dragon's a Monster Hunter. So that's a cool thing. Yeah, Omega came from outer space to.
Oh no, I'm not
create-
owing your thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at because Mood was talking about the developer for
Yeah.
Divine Comedy. They did a note show.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew I recognized that name. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, you got those two crossovers with each other, which should both be quality from those teams. But my real standout was Resident Evil Requiem. We've only seen this game twice now, but everything we're seeing and then kind of getting teases from Dusk Golem on Twitter has me very excited for this entry. It's just straight horror. It just looks absolutely fantastic visually, and the setting seems really cool, and I'm all in on it.
Yeah, no, I mean RE9 looks great. I think it's one of those things where I saw that trailer, I was like, okay, I was already sold on the game. I don't really need to see much more. It was the same thing with Onimusha, where it's like I'm already excited for Onimusha. Don't need to see more. I get it. They want to advertise these games. They need to kind of come to any space possible. And I always get excited seeing that Capcom logo. But it was kind of that thing of like, I guess like it. This is like I think the fourth or fifth trailer we've had for Onimusha, and there's still no release date. It gets to the point of like, okay, why are you here then? Like, I'm excited for this game already. You don't need to sell me.
And my thing with Resident Evil is like, I actually hated this showing of Resident Evil. It was a thing of like,
I thought you were gonna say I hate Resident Evil.
no, I love Resident Evil, but it's the thing of like, it's weird how, for one, this was like technically one last thing was the Black Myth game, but like they ended, like his thing was like, okay, we're gonna end on Resident Evil, like show you this thing. It's not like we got real like gameplay. Like we got a quick little trailer, and then there was that one part in the trailer where it's now all of a sudden gameplay where it like shows up like follow mom on your screen or whatever. But it's that thing where it's like it didn't necessarily impress me very much. Like I thought the previews afterwards, like from few days ago, from like creators that actually got to go play, and when we finally got actual gameplay and stuff. It's like, why didn't you show any of that during ONL? You kind of just gave us this interesting enough story trailer, and that was kind of it. And it was there for 3 minutes. I don't know. It's just a showing to me that like I did not feel very strongly about. I'm still really excited for the game. It's just like so far I've seen this game twice, and the trailers they've shown me haven't done it like past Resident Evil games, and I could be totally alone in that.
Well, I think it's that thing of like, I think story trailers kind of suck because it's like I'm gonna play this game, I'm gonna see these cutscenes, so it's like, why am I watching this now before the game's even out? I usually think for trailers, it's like, yeah, have a bit of story, but also show some like really fun gameplay that I'm gonna be able to do in a few months. It just comes off as like, I don't really need to see the beginning of RE9. I'm gonna play it in a few months.
Yeah, it's the thing of, for me, I'm down with story trailers. I just don't like when I've already got a quote unquote trailer with no gameplay already. Like you showed me, you revealed Resident Evil 2 months ago at Summer Game Fest. So like this would be the chance to be like, okay, here's some real gameplay for everyone to see, not just the people who are gonna go out of their way and look at previews and see the gameplay there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Let's get into our low lights. I'm immediately gonna say my low light. We gotta stop yapping on stage, guys. We gotta stop having like hear from the Fallout show 4 fucking people for some reason, and it's like, Ella, do you like acting? It's like, yeah, I like acting. It's like, this adds nothing. I'm not getting any insight into how you're making the show, into what the season's going to be all about. And I thought the trailer was awesome. I'm very excited for that show. But the trailer, you could have just shown the trailer. You didn't need to have a whole on-stage interview. And even in the pre-show, it's like Kyle did an interview with the Keeper developer. And I'm excited for that game, but it's also like, I'm watching a show. I don't need this to be in the middle of the show. It's like, oh, let's yap with the developer for a bit and ask them what they think. And it's like, no, like save that for after the show, before the show, some other time, instead of just like right in the middle. It's like Jeff asking the Lego Batman developer, it's like, so you're doing Lego Batman? It's like, yeah, we are. It's like, yeah, we just saw the trailer, Jeff. So just enough of that. I'm so sick of it in these presentations. And it's like SGF has gotten better about that. But like for some reason, opening night live, I don't know if it's a Gamescom thing specifically, but like I'm fine with having the developers on stage, but just have it be quick. Have it be quick and snappy. It's like, hey, you just saw this. Here's some extra details. All right, let's get into another trailer. Let's move on quickly. It's like this slow pace really kills the shows for me.
I think I'm with you. I think I like the idea of devs on stage and Jeff getting to talk to the devs, but it's like half the time when he's talking to this dev, it's almost like somehow never about the game. They're just yapping about something random. And it's the pacing of, okay, Call of Duty comes out, Call of Duty's going to get the devs on there. They get the devs on there. It's always like the big games, Lego Batman, okay, you get the dev out there. And it's always like, I don't know if it's not rehearsed or they're just totally winging it. Like, I guess they could be, but it feels like these devs come out, these people come out, and it's a very awkward Jeff asking them things, but them interrupting Jeff. And it's like a whole thing of like, it doesn't feel thought out and elaborate as it should, where if you're going to have devs on stage, be prepared to like ask 2 or 3 very quick questions, get into it, and then move on to the next thing. But it's always a thing of like, it feels like they literally just go up there every time and they just wing it. And it's like, doesn't ever work out.
Fusion, what about you? Your low light. I mean, RE9, is that the low light for you, or did you have something
No,
worse?
I wouldn't say you kind of brought it up earlier, but I'm still going to use it. I think, actually, my low light is too many. We're in the stage now, and it's like it's kind of a lot of Jeff shows, but there's too many tactical shooter games that all look the same, and like live service shooter games.
We're going back to the PS3 era with this one.
Like, they all look like the Division kind of. Like there were so many in this Open Night Live where it's just like every other game you could tell me were from the same devs, the same publisher, and they all looked bad. Like it's the thing of Open Night Live more than his other shows. I would say it goes from like the Game Awards tries to take most of the fluff out. Summer Game Fest still has it to pay the bills, and then Open Night Live, it's like 60% of it is always just like these random games that make me feel like I have no passion for video games. Like I'm sitting here and I'm like, do I even like video games anymore? Like you're showing me nothing. You're showing me actual soulless projects. That's normally some random shooter that can be played with your friends in co-op that no one's actually ever going to play. And it's like, I'm sorry not to make those devs feel bad. I'm sure they're passionate about what they're working on, but there was just way too many of it in this show particular. Like he usually always has something where it's like maybe too much horror, maybe too much farm. Like there's always something. This one to me was like, you show me way too many shooter games that I'm never gonna play, and they're all multiplayer, and they're all going to come out, and no one will ever hear about them again.
Tell me right now. We just saw the show 2 days ago or 3 days ago. Tell me right now what was in Time Takers.
Yeah, I think that I actually might. Was that the 3v3 or something? Like teams of 3? Like,
I'm watching the trailer right now. Yeah, it's the one with the monkey.
Okay, that's the thing where it's like, cool. I guess you know what I mean. It's just so many of those. They all have some generic name. Actually, though, I do kind of like Time Takers as a name, but like they're always just
too close to Time Splitters, man.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking of Time Splitters the whole time. It's like things like that where it's like. There was one in the entire showcase that was like this horror one later on from, I think it was Nutties or something. Like they showed up earlier. I was like, okay, that's a cool twist. This is interesting. Looks like a hunt showdown type thing. But like for the most part, it's always the same generic shooter, third person like Division clone. And it's like, I understand Jeff probably uses them as ways to make the show run because they pay him to show up and he gets money and the show can be on. But it's like, at some point, we just have to cut about 60% of the games here. And I'm telling you, no one's going to complain if you're only showing 30 games instead of 100 games. If those 30 games are quality, the show is going to feel better.
Fate Trigger. Tell me about Fate Trigger, Fusion.
Can't tell you anything. I'm sure you shoot.
That was the anime 3D one, the gacha game. Oh, God. That's another thing. Way too many of these gacha games. It was like, are gacha game fans watching this show? Like, genuinely, I just need to know.
They didn't even get the big ones, which have updates coming, which is kind of, I expected those to show up, but not whatever showed up, because I don't know those games.
Exactly. Bench, what's your low?
I'd probably go Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 4. I thought it had a neat cinematic trailer, but every time I see the gameplay for these types of games, it's just so...
Were you also tricked that you thought it was a Space Marine 3 trailer?
I don't know if I thought it was exactly Space Marine 3, but I thought it'd be maybe something
like
in
a
that
third-person
vein.
shooter.
But like all the gameplay of these games just looks so boring.
Here, I have a suggestion for all game developers. If you're gonna show a cool cinematic trailer, just say what the type of game is before.
Yeah.
That's it. Because it reminds me of Rogue Aces or Wild Aces or whatever that was at an SGF once, and it had this beautiful 2D anime art style. It's like, oh my god, this looks incredible! I cannot wait. And then you see it, it's like an RTS. It's like, okay, I don't know why you spent all that budget on that trailer, but sure.
It needs like one of those like on the news. There's just like a little strip at the bottom of the screen. It's like new RTS from the developers of just little info at the bottom of the screen scrolling.
Warning! Warning. The game is not as fun as this looks. Moon, what's your low light?
You definitely hit the nail on the head with the interviews, because as I said, I was watching this at work like on mute, and I was like doing work during the Fallout thing, and I went like held like 3 different customers, and I came back and they were still on the Fallout interview, and I'm like, god damn. The Batman interview was also pretty bad too. Game wise, I'll actually call the Lego Batman a low light for me, just on the sole principle of I'm tired of Batman. I'm tired of. I wish Lego would stretch out a little bit to different things other than Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Batman. It seems like we're just on this merry-go-round of the same IPs with Telltale.
Traveler's Tales.
Travel Tales, I mean. So I kind of wish we would do something a little different. Granted, I say this, but at the same time, I just don't think I'll ever get to a Lego game. But at least I would like to see at least them try to do something different. But beside that, and even then, like I would maybe even be slightly even more interested if they went to a different Batman game that didn't lean on the IP of like, hey, it's all the movies again. It's like, do something original at least.
I love it. I mean, this is what the fans wanted.
I know, it's like it's all they care about. It's like, hey, look, it's something instead of something original. It's like,
damn right. I just want the same shit every time. Feed me slop, baby.
Yeah, just keep feeding the same slop. So that's just my low light for a couple personal different reasons. And then I don't know if there's any other games. I don't know, just all the regular slop that's all in these shows that I just don't care about. That's why it was so hard picking a highlight for me, because it's all stuff I don't care. There's so many games I don't care about in this. Let's just go with the interviews. Let me be bold and just say, Lego Batman. I'll just say Lego Batman.
All right. Well, real quick, I just want to shout out some other games. The show started and the pre-show. Like I said, I actually really like the pre-show. I know you and me, Fusion, are Kyle Bossman fans. I thought he did a great job in the pre-show, and I like that whole like 10 things to be excited for. Like just the whole bit.
Yeah, he's finally like got his role like in the pre-show. Like the pre-shows have been really good. I think this was his best pre-show. I think it's the whole thing of like Kyle does have a type of humor you either really like or you don't. And it's like I do respect Jeff Keighley that I feel like he kind of just lets Kyle write whatever he wants for the pre-show. Just like,
oh yeah,
go off like do what I think Jeff knows the type of comedy that Kyle does, so he's just like whatever, you're like go for it. And I think this was the one where he fully shined with like that top 10. I felt like everyone really liked that top 10. So like I wish Kyle was in more events and more things. It's just funny that. It's always funny to me when the pre-show happens, and then when the main show happens, it's always Kyle Bossman's voice announcing Jeff Keighley to the stage.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, I know that voice.
Yeah.
I want to shout out real quick Bubsy 4D. Unironically, I thought I would never be excited for a Bubsy game, but hey, this one looks fucking awesome. It's being done by I forget the indie team, but they specifically did some indie platformers that were really good. So to see them take on Bubsy, it is really funny that we're getting a new Bubsy before a new Crash or Spyro. But hey, God bless. It unironically looks really fun, and the developer was showing off the movement tech. It's like, okay, they're actually taking a lot of cues. I'm really excited for this one. Dench Attack, which was that game that was like a train that is skateboarding. It's like Jet Set Radio, Tony Hawk, and Train, and it looks fucking awesome. I wish the name was better, but otherwise, I'm really excited for that one. All right, I was told by good old friend Jackie G that I have to read this name on the podcast. PVKK Planet 10 Vertiedguskanoken Comedent. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's better than me.
Yeah, I have nothing to say about the game. I just I had to say that because of Jack. Pac-Man World 2 repack. I found this really funny. They did a DLC for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Pac-Man World 2 repack of them just crossing over with each other. So I'm very, very excited for both of those things. And then any other things you want to just shout out real quick? I don't really know. Yeah, like I said, I mean, this is just a lot of slop. It's one of those shows that's like you come away with less highlights than you would have for games that you just don't care about. Where it's like I wasn't like upset about this. It's just I'm not really caring about what I'm seeing on screen.
Yeah, it was that. I mean, shout out Zero Parades. That's from the
Zero Parades look. Granted, we
devs
saw
of
almost
Disco
nothing.
Elysium. Yeah, but it's still like thing of like we finally see something from the dev team
Oh,
at
that was
Disco Elysium. Yeah.
How many of that dev team is still there?
I'll just say that is the bigger question. It is not
Yeah.
probably most of them, but it's still some of them. And I mean, it looks very Disco Elysium, so it's still it's still in that vein. I saw a lot of people
Yeah, for
upset
sure.
because this is like the I forget what the dev team, the team name. It's like it's ZAUM, but I have no idea how you pronounce it.
Zom.
Yeah, Zom. Okay, so like I know a lot of people dislike whatever Zom did to like the former devs that did leave and they're working on whatever they're working on, but I still think there is enough here and enough structure at this studio that this can still be a really good game.
Yep. Really exciting. Well, that was opening night live. For the love of God, we need these shows to be shorter, Jeff. Game Awards can be that long because it has announcements. Opening night live, it's like, oh, no. 2 hours is crazy. Let's talk about our next thing. This is just for me. I just want to talk about this real fast. Kirby Air Riders got a direct. Sakurai presents 45 minutes. I remember seeing people saying, there's no way Sakurai can talk for 45 minutes about this game. He found a way. I'm really excited for this game. I think this looks awesome. This is just the follow-up to Kirby Air Ride that I wanted. And I think City Trial, as per usual, looks sick. I'm a bit iffy on the $70 price tag, but there's clearly a lot more to be shown. Sakurai himself even said that at the end of the showcase. I'm really into the character roster. I love how Starman is now a meme. I just really dig how it's like, hey, we're not going to try to smashify Kirby Air Ride. We're just going to make a new Kirby Air Ride and like stick to the Kirby universe. And specifically acknowledging games that came after Sakurai's tenure with Kirby, which he usually never does. So like getting stuff like Magalore and Suzy was really surprising. Gameplay changes. I mean, they added a second button, which is a massive deal for me, at least, because that game really needed a second button. And yeah, I mean, I look at this and it's like, hey, Kirby Air Ride was a game that took 3.5 months to make. This is a game that had about 4 years to make. So I think 3 years actually closer. I'm really excited for it. Glad to see Sakurai back on Kirby. November 20th. I'm curious what this means for Metroid, because we were kind of talking Fusion at one point, I think. Metroid was we were thinking November. It seems like Kirby is taking that spot. Now, Nintendo has doubled up on release dates before. You think it's possible that Metroid is even September and they just do a really short marketing cycle? Or is this looking like December, which is the last thing I want?
I could
It's
see
either
early
December.
November.
It's December or it's not this year. For me,
I hope it's
personally.
not this year. If it's December, then I'd rather just not be this year.
I
But yeah.
could see early November, like that first Thursday.
Yeah, it could
I
also
think
even
there's
be
enough
October,
gap,
honestly.
big of a gap. It could be like in that late October, early November gap. I think there is enough time there and enough difference between like those Pokemon, Metroid, and Kirby to where I think they could get away with it unless they go the December or September route.
For sure. Let's move on. Fusion. We talked about this a lot in the past about Sony raising PS5 prices, and we were like, man, they still haven't done it. I think they're just not gonna do it. I think they're just gonna like stick with it. Nope. Shinobi puts this on Twitter. Sony is raising PS5 prices in the US starting tomorrow, with all models going up by $50 due to, quote, challenging economic environment. PS5 is going to $549, PS5 Digital is going to $499, and PS5 Pro is going to $749. So if you want to play Metal Gear Solid Delta at 720p, you got to pay $750, baby. We'll talk about that in a bit.
That's what I did.
Yeah, so I mean, we talked a lot about this, Fusion. We thought they weren't even going to do it or they're going to wait a lot longer. It turns out they just, I guess, I don't know. I think they wanted to do this around Gamescom to try to like lower the blow. And honestly, I think it kind of worked because I feel like people aren't talking about this as much as it is at the end of the day a big deal. All these consoles are going up by $50. That's kind of a big deal. But maybe it's just like everything else. Maybe they lucked out with Silksong getting revealed this week. It's like, oh, thank God, we could just raise the prices in peace.
I think it was. I mean, to me, it's a thing of like, I'm sure they wanted to do it before Black Friday and the holidays. Like they're like, okay, so let's do it now. And I think I would not put it past them. They're like, okay, let's do it during Gamescom week so it can just get lost in the shuffle. Because I feel like that's exactly what it did, and it's still bullshit. You know what I mean? Like it's still a thing of like, this should not happen. I understand tariffs. The orange man in office like isn't making this any easier on them, and it sucks. And it's like, to counterpoint this, they discounted the system in China. So it's like, the discount in China,
we're moving
it here. Yeah, because it's like the thing of like, it's kind of the thing of them being like, we're doing this because of this one idiot in office, but it's also the thing of like, we're just past the point where consoles now will ever get a discount. Like we're sitting here about to be 6 years later, and the consoles are only going up. And to me, it's just absurd. It's insane. The industry as itself can't grow when you're outpricing every consumer, every new consumer. And the PS5 Pro, especially, it's just disgusting because for one, that console is digital only. So if you want a disc drive, that's another $100. After tax, it's like we're looking at a $900 console. Most smart humans at the end of the day, you're just gonna build the PC at that rate. You're gonna spend an extra $100, have $1,000, and buy or build a PC that is going to shit on your PS5 Pro. Like, it doesn't make any sense, especially for that PS5 Pro to go up. PS5 original and PS5 digital, okay, whatever. Those make a little more sense of putting the $50, but I think specifically with that Pro, they should have just left it as is. It was already an expensive ass console. There's no way that extra $50 needs to happen. So it's like, I don't know. I was very surprised that they didn't do it when Xbox and Nintendo did it at the time. They did wait about half a year, 4 months now to get it out, but it's still like, I was fully expecting them to just never do it at this point. I was like, it's 4 months later. I think they're just going to not do it. They're going to play the nice guys. They don't need to do it. They're the market leaders. That was all just them waiting for their best time. Or maybe I don't know. We had the whole news story of Trump doubling down on the tariffs a couple of weeks ago. So maybe it was that thing of they just fully expected the tariffs to not exist at this point, but they're still around. So like, well, we can't prolong this any longer. We're just going to get it out of the way.
Yeah, it's just one of those things you got to get ready for a lot of things to start increasing in price because, I mean, we're kind of nearing we're in like the very early part of these tariffs kind of being a thing. And now it's like I don't know, it's that thought of like maybe they go away, maybe they don't. But like Sony is not going to sit around and wait. They're going to be like, we're losing money on these consoles. There is no reason for us to like lose even more. We might as well try to get something back. And yeah, it sucks. I think at the end of the day, they can take the hit, but they're number one in the console business right now, and they want to get as much revenue as possible. So they're like, yeah, we're going to increase the prices in the US. And they especially know we got to do it before Black Friday, and especially do it before GTA 6, because that's going to be a big seller of PS5 consoles. So yeah, just really shitty situation. It sucked when Xbox did it. It sucked when Nintendo did it. It sucked when Sony did it. It's now all three of them have done their price increases. At this point, I see probably Switch 2 going up in price early next year. That's kind of my prediction. Yeah. They want to get those first year sales, which again is unfortunate. But I mean, listen, it worked because Fusion bought a Switch 2 because of that. It's like, well, I don't want to deal with the price increases.
And that's why I bought it. That's why I bought it when it came out, because I knew it was going to happen. Yep.
Let's talk about Bioshock. This is one of those cases. This is one of those cases. I feel really bad, but it's like I'm glad I'm not a fan of this franchise because oh my god, the last few years have been brutal for you guys. God bless. Jason Trier puts this on Twitter or Blue Sky. I don't know what you see. I wish you would just have a Twitter account where you just post the articles, Jason. I'm sorry, I just have to say that real quick. Breaking: Bioshock 4 developer Cloud Chamber is laying off an unspecified number of staff. Also, former Diablo boss Rod Ferguson is taking over as Cloud Chamber's new studio head. More than a decade ago, he joined the troubled Bioshock Infinite and helped salvage that game's production. So immediately, Fusion, I mean, this is what we were talking about last week about Rod Ferguson, and me and Bob were kind of on the side of he probably got a better gig somewhere. This was the better gig, I guess. I don't know if it's a better gig because I don't know if I think this is a case of Rod really wants to make Bioshock happen. So it's like he will come in probably on a very troubled project and fix things. Because we know Rod Ferguson, he is the closer. He is the one that comes in at the end and makes things happen, fixes things up. I mean, famously with Bioshock Infinite, like the game was in shambles. Rod Ferguson came in, put together what he could, and created a game that at the end of the day, got a 94 on Metacritic, a game that a lot of people really love. So it very much is clear that Rod Ferguson knows what he's doing, and they're like, well, we need someone to help salvage this project. We're going to have him come in. I think it's a W for Rod Ferguson to join this team. He also put on Twitter, he's very excited about it. And Wario64 put this out. Bloomberg, 2K laid off 80 plus staff from Cloud Chamber, or about a third of its team. Next Bioshock also delayed from previously planned release in late 26, early 27. Now, Moon, Fusion, I'll let you guys take the stage because you're much bigger Bioshock fans. How are we feeling about all this? Are you more confident, less confident? What's the current read on this situation?
I'm just going to jump in real quick first because for one, Moon's been dealing with Bioshock a lot longer than me. He's an OG fan. I've just now gotten the Bioshock stuff, so I haven't had to wait as long. I just want to put out one thing. Ron is like the opposite of Vince Zampella. Like you get Vince when you're like, we need you to start the game. This is what we do. Like you need to start a game, put Vince on it. You need to finish the game, put Ron. Like put them on the same dev team.
Dude, oh my god, that's the best game of all time, right there. Is Vince Zampella and Ron Ferguson.
Like they would straight up, they would be a super team, and I would love for one day in the far future them to just somehow work together. Anyways, yeah, it's a thing of. Again, I'm a lot newer than Moon on Bioshock, so it's not like I've waited 10 years for the next Bioshock game and had to wait 7 years for a Judas project that's been going around. But it is a thing where it's like I fully love Bioshock now. It is one of my favorite franchises of all time. Infinite is one of my favorite games of all time. And I'm excited for this next Bioshock project. I'm excited for them to do something new, something fresh, and to see 80 people lose their jobs always sucks. And I see Rod have to come on. It does give me some confidence that I think he'll be able to get it done and we'll get this game eventually. But it's still that thing of like, man, this is just a week ago. It sounded like the project was still fine. Yeah, we weren't going to get news, but they promised this game was coming. And I still think this game is coming. But when they hit that, when they went over that article a week or 2 weeks ago, when they're like, yeah, we have a good game right now. We're trying to make it great. After yesterday, or whenever the news broke and 80 people and all that leaving, did you even have a good game? I feel like if you had a good game, you don't fire 80 people. That's like you had a pretty bad game and now you're trying to get it to the good game type level. So like this new stuff, this new article, all this new information makes me a little more weary and I'm a little more nervous for the project than I was. But at the end of the day, I'm still super excited for Bioshock. Also, to go back to the top of the show, with Silksong and like a game that's been waiting a long time, Bioshock. Like,
yeah,
this is the one. This is like the next Silksong of like, is it coming? Is it canceled? I don't know. But
Judas has been worked on for longer. I feel like that would more so. What comes out first is the real question.
But yeah, Moon's way like he's a Bioshock veteran, so he can give more input than I can on this.
I mean, at the same time, it's like, damn, we have to wait even longer. But at the same time, it probably is better in the long run because all this time and we haven't even seen a shred of information about it other than it's coming, it's definitely being worked on, and the fact we never saw anything just means it probably is a disaster. It's that whole meme of nothing to see here and the building is on fire behind them. So I think this is just probably for the better now that it has the actual recognizable name behind it, like Rod, just to be like, okay, we're just gonna put a name behind it who can actually put out quality games. It does instill some confidence in it now. So, yeah, it sucks that we're now probably looking at a 2028 game now. But I think it is just for the better because I think at the rate that it was going, they were probably going to put it out in 2026, 2027. It was probably going to be a disaster. And it's just going to end up as another one of those. Look how the series fell off after Ken Levine left. It was Bioshock Infinite came out in 2013. It was in development hell forever, and then it came out kind of like a Duke Nukem situation, and it was just a bad game after all those years because it had no one really at the leader. Because who knows? Granted, have we had any real information come out about this game since? Like we haven't heard anything about directors or anything about.
No,
this.
we know the director. The director got fired.
Yeah, so it looks like it's been a disaster this whole time. So now we've got a real captain at the mantle at it. So it does instill some confidence. It just sucks that it's taken this long for them to get their act together, basically.
You make two really good points. Or do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
You make two really good points of the thing of, for one, this game can't come out and just be middling, let alone bad. Like you just can't you can't treat the Bioshock fans like that. And I think they do understand that. I think they understand that Bioshock is super important to so many people that they have to do it right, and they're going to take as much time as they can to make it right, which is a positive. And the other thing is, you make a great point of Bioshock and that name had Ken Levine behind it for so long that like with this new Bioshock, you had like no name. The fact that now you at least have Rod, who like a lot of people in the industry know of Rod Ferguson, they know that name. They can at least now put that with Bioshock. It's like that. I think is a very important step that I was kind of like not paying attention to, where you just brought it up, where it's like, yeah, now finally you can look at Bioshock 4, Bioshock whatever it's going to be called, and you can put a name to that title, where for years it's like, okay, Bioshock 4 being made by who?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, who's been in charge of this whole time?
I forget the name, but like I think it was his first directorial job. First directorial job on a Bioshock game. I mean, we're looking at, I go to Metacritic, and Bioshock 1, 96, Bioshock 2, 88, and that was a separate team aside from Ken Levine, but still very highly rated. And then Bioshock Infinite, 94. This is a critical darling franchise, and it's very important to a lot of people. They've sold a lot. I think Infinite sold over 10 million copies, I want to say. I can't say for certain. But they're very successful games too, and I think 2K understands what they have. And there was that recent Strauss Zelnick interview where he was like, hey, no matter what, Bioshock will come out. So it's clear that they let this thing kind of go off the rails a bit somewhere in development. They're like, no, okay, we got to put it back. We're going to poach Rod Ferguson because we need this guy. He will understand it. Probably just as much as Ken Levine at this point.
It's like they made Cloud Chamber for Bioshock. like,
yeah.
Like, this is a dev team. This is a dev team that they're like, yeah, we made this studio to continue Bioshock. Like, it can't just. It has to come out and it has to be good. And it's like us talking about it. I am genuinely super excited for whatever they work on. It's just like, if it takes another 3 years to get it right, take the time to get it right.
For sure.
And where's Judas?
Somewhere. Quick story here. ROG, Xbox Ally, and Ally X will launch on October 16th. Price pending due to macroeconomic conditions, says Microsoft. We'll see about tariffs, basically, is what they're saying. So right now, there was that funny story about Best Buy accidentally putting up prices. I think they were wrong because it was listed at $9,999. Would you buy a ROG Xbox Ally X for $9,000, guys?
Think about
it. My Xbox need will allow me to do that.
I'll just say, just really fast price prediction. I'm gonna say this is I think you're looking at $900 for the X version.
I think
probably somewhere around there, 800, 900.
Yeah,
I think by the time they set prices, tariffs will be worse, so it'll be 1,000.
Yeah, I could see a $999. I could truthfully see a $999. I think like if tariffs were the thing, I think it would be that thing. They would be like, oh, we're gonna do $899, but their excuse would be like, we're actually gonna do $1,000 because tariffs and everything else. And it's just newsflash for anyone listening or anyone here: do not buy this thing for $1,000. Just don't do it. Please don't do it. Get a Steam Deck, like anything. Just don't do that.
Yeah. Last story, just a small one. SIE has sold its stake in EVO to Nodwin Gaming, a company backed by SIE's parent, Sony Group Corporation. SIE will become a new global sponsor of EVO through 2028 and will continue its commitment to the fighting game community. I find this interesting. They effectively are selling EVO, at least SIE specifically. It is being backed by a different SIE parent, so I wonder if it's like they want to separate PlayStation from the specifics. From EVO specifically. I find it weird because I feel like EVO has been doing more and more success since Sony bought them back in like, I want to say 2020 or 2021, I think. I feel like they've just grown and grown, but maybe they just want to separate it specifically from the PlayStation brand. So just quick story, but I found that interesting.
Honestly, that was pretty shocking to me considering Sony's investing in what could be a premier fighting game on top of making a fighting stick. I thought they were with EVO for the long haul. So that just doesn't seem to be the case, even if they are a premier sponsor.
Yeah, but like it's still under Sony. So I wonder if it. Like I heard the theory that was kind of a tax break that they were going for. I don't know. I can't really begin to understand this high level of business as much, but it is interesting just to like kind of look at from a distance.
3 years from now, they're going to create their own EVO and call it PSX.
You really want PSX back, man? I'm right there with you.
We deserve it.
We deserve it. We fucking deserve it. Let's get into reviews of the week. First and foremost, Sword of the Sea sitting at an 87 on OpenCritic. Game Informer an 85. Oh yeah, what was it originally?
I think it was like 85 or 86 last time I looked at it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it went up. 22 critic reviews, so not too many reviews on it right now, but lots of 9s, 4 out of 5s, and whatnot. I think it looks really cool. I'm interested in checking out. I heard it was like kind of a mix between Tony Hawk and Journey. I really love both those games, so it's like, okay, I'd be down to check that out. Moon, did you play this at all? I know it was on Extra. I think you were thinking about it.
Yeah, I beat it.
Oh, cool. What'd you think?
I actually really liked it. I wasn't to it at first. Like I downloaded it the first night, got to the first area. Wasn't feeling it at first because I got a little lost. Because it kind of drops you into this. Well, you're first in the one area for like the tutorial, and then it drops you into this open desert area. And I got a little lost in there, but then my second night, I found my way around. And I'm like, okay. Then it gets you into a little bit more linear area, and then it doesn't really drop you into another open area. It gets more linear after that. And once I got into that area, I was a lot more into it, and it started just moving forward. I'm like, okay, now this is actually really cool, and the sets got better. It wasn't just desert. I thought the whole game was just going to be desert, kind of like Journey, but no, it wasn't. So you started getting a lot more, and I'm like, okay, this is actually really cool now. And like all their other games like Journey and all that, it's all silent, it's all done through like visual storytelling. So it's all really cool in that regard.
Is the sword skating feel good? Does it feel good?
Oh yeah, it feels great. It absolutely feels fantastic, especially once you get to. There's not a lot of it, but there are certain sections where they give you like little like half pipes, and all of that feels just absolutely wonderful.
That's cool.
Oh yeah,
I wish there was more. I wish there was more opportunity to actually do tricks. Like they give you they give you abilities to unlock tricks and whatnot, but they don't come up very often. And I wish there was more opportunity to do tricks and whatnot. But there are little areas to do like grinding on chains, but it's not very often.
If only someone had the foresight to draft this in Fantasy Critic like 5
Shut
months
up,
ago.
Bench. You like listen to Fusion talk about it.
I know.
No, I will. I know this was from that Journey team or people that were involved in that, and that was a great game, so I drafted it.
What was it? That game company?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's. I just know the people that were involved there were involved here.
It was like people from that team.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, no, the game looks awesome. I want to check it out eventually.
It's only like it took me 3 hours, and I even dawdled a little bit and wandered around. So you could probably beat it in less than 3 hours.
Yeah, one of those nice little one-night games.
Like that is because I think you and Colin, maybe Bop in the Discord at one point were talking about because this game is $30, which do you think this game? Do you think 3 hours? You think $30 warrants the 3 hour experience?
No, I mean it is nice and it does feel like one of those like how do I describe it? Like it definitely feels like one of those like emotional like people are probably going to feel emotionally attached to like the silent movie kind of storytelling, but if it does feel like it does feel pricey for 3 hours that you can easily blow through in probably 2 hours if you know what you're doing. Like a replay it is pricey. It is nice looking. It controls wonderfully. It's very pretty looking, but $30 does feel pricey, even with how I like it. It should have just 25.
That's interesting because like Journey was $15 when it came out. Now, granted, that's 2012, but still.
Yeah, that's why I was a little surprised when it was like $30, and then I was freaking like, 6-7 hour game. I thought this was going to be like
Extra, right?
their biggest. Yeah, and it is on PS Extra, and like there's definitely ways to play. And like I'm not saying the $30 is gonna immediately turn people away, but I definitely know it's like that thing of like maybe people will just wait for once this hits its first like Steam sale or whatever, and it's like $20 or like just things like that, where it's kind of surprising that for a 3 hour game, where for most people this is the type of game that probably would be a one sitting night. Like you get on at 7 o'clock on a Friday. Pop this game in and you're just like, okay, I'm going to put this in one sitting, because that's the way I like to play those type of games, like Journey, like those type of, not walking sims. I don't think Journey, I don't think this game is a walking sim. I guess it is kind
experience game.
Outside of the first zone, it basically is a walking sim because it is very linear.
Yeah.
Like once you get past the open desert part, it is very linear. So yeah, and granted, there are little side things you can do. I did 100% it because there are like little. Now, granted, that's probably where the Tony Hawk part comes in because there are like that's probably where the doing tricks part is because there are like little time trial things you can do where you can go off and do tricks for points and whatnot to beat a high score. So that's where you can wander off the beaten path and go do that stuff, and that's probably where all the rest of the trophies are at to do like 100% and get the platinum. But besides doing that extra bonus stuff, yeah, it is basically a walking sim or a board sim where you're just doing the little puzzles to progress the your little path to get to the end. I won't spoil the rest of the stuff though because that's
of course.
Discovering that stuff is half the fun of the game.
Yeah, and it's like those are the things where it's like those are the type of games where I like to put on and beat in one night and have the experience game. And it's like $30 to me is steep for that. It's like $20, perfect. You know what I mean? Like things like that where it's just like I feel like you could put $20 on this. Yeah, it's that extra 10 that really gets you. But I'm still am very excited about this game, and like I'm definitely gonna check it out by the end of the year. You playing it and Bot playing it and Colin all playing it like made me more like it was always on my radar, but then seeing you three jump into it and be like, this game's sick, I was like, I should jump in, but like I don't want to spend the $30 right now, and I don't have PlayStation Extra.
It is the perfect like Game Pass PS Extra kind of game where you can easily drop in at like a 7-8 o'clock at night and finish it by the time you would probably go to bed, as long as you don't get lost like I did. And
it sounds like a worthwhile time, even for $30.
I think it is, especially as long as you enjoy that kind of just you're here for the artsy silent storytelling. It's weird to call it puzzle because they're not puzzle. It's very just move this thing over here, do this in a certain pattern kind of thing. It's not very complex. Yeah, very very rudimentary puzzles. They're not hard. There's only one time I got stumped by something, but that's literally just because I'm blind.
We're all blind. Well, that sounds exciting. I want to get to that by the end of the year too. Hopefully, if it gets price cut, I'd jump in.
I'm sure it'll get at least like a Black Friday deal of some kind, just because it's out by now and they'll want to sell it by like the holiday.
Other big game that got reviews coming out next week is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. I have a lot to say. I'll start. Okay. So this game is sitting at an 87 on OpenCritic. Very high reviews. Original was like around 93, 94. And you might be wondering, where's that point differential coming? And it was something I was really worried about with this game. I didn't want to say anything because I was like, well, I want to just let myself be excited. But this is done by Virtuos. Virtuos Studios, who did the Oblivion remake and Outer World Spacer's Choice and a lot of other ports, remasters, and the like. And Virtuos has this thing. They are really bad at performance. Famously bad. Oblivion launched on PC, and it was a travesty on PC. And it took them 2 months to patch it. This is also a game that's in Unreal Engine 5. Fusion, you know how I feel about Unreal Engine 5.
Love it.
You guys all know how much I love Unreal Engine 5.
Yep.
This is the perfect example of a truly special game being ruined by this goddamn fucking engine. The worst thing in gaming right now, I don't care what anyone says, I'm saying it. Unreal Engine 5 is the worst thing to happen into the industry in the last 5 years. This thing fucking sucks. It doesn't work. It makes every game run like shit. It ruins the performance. It ruins the look of a lot of games. It's just an absolute travesty. Epic Games does a horrible job supporting it. A lot of developers don't know how to use it. There's some Unreal Engine 5 games that run really well. Expedition 33, I know, is one that ran incredibly well in Unreal Engine 5. But that was a very small team that was able to handle it. Apparently, Virtuos can't handle it, despite being this massive dev team. Does this ruin my excitement? Not at all. I'm extremely excited to play this game. Does it affect my opinion on the game? Yeah, probably. I'd probably imagine this coming out, and I'm like, wow, this is actually still the 10 out of 10 game I still remember that I love so much. But also, it runs like shit. It has a lot of issues. Okay, guess what? If you're on PS5 Pro, enjoy the game at 720p. Like, just have fun playing that game on 720p on your $700 console. It's fucking asinine that we are in 2025 and we are having frame rate issues for a game that came out in 2004 originally. This is not a game. It looks amazing. It looks phenomenal. It doesn't look that good to where I'm getting performance drops on performance mode. So Virtuos, fucking step it up. If you're going to keep doing remasters and remakes and take on 30 fucking projects a year, how about you actually get down to the nitty gritty and understand that performance is the most important thing. I don't care how good the game looks as long as it fucking runs. If I'm going to sit here and put the game on performance mode, I expect a crisp 60 FPS. We are not in the year to be handling games at, oh, it drops down to 40, it drops down to 25. It's like, no, this is not the year to be dealing with shit like that. So yeah. I'm so excited, can't wait, but it clearly didn't affect the reviews that much, thankfully. So it's just frustrating that it's like, as per usual, Virtuos and Unreal Engine 5 just screwing me.
Yeah, I've definitely been talking with Fusion about kind of how my biggest worry was the Unreal Engine 5-ness, and that's definitely going to be an issue. But at the same time, hearing you talk about Metal Gear, and so many people talk about Metal Gear, it's a game I want to experience, and have none of those reviews like shifted my day one excitement. Like, I bought the deluxe edition I'll be playing Tuesday, but it definitely is like, it's going to be noticeable, and it's also my first experience with this franchise in this game. So I hope that kind of doesn't hinder it at all. But I'm also at the same time, I'm still really excited because of everything I hear about this franchise.
They had this thing called the Fox engine for Metal Gear Solid 5, one of the greatest video game engines of all time. And they used it for Metal Gear Solid 5, Metal Gear Survive, and PES. Okay, sure, you had a perfectly good engine ready to use, but you have to use Unreal Engine 5, the least optimized engine in history. By the way, Tim Sweeney, this fucking dumbass, is like, yes, we're thinking about revealing Unreal Engine 6 soon. Shut up! Fix this engine! It's not working. It only works for Fortnite.
That's the fix. Is it Unreal Engine 6?
Yeah, exactly. Apparently.
That's how we're fixing Unreal Engine 5. We're making Unreal Engine. Granted, take this with a grain of salt. I heard Unreal Engine, I think they're on 5.7 now. I heard 5.7 is actually really, really good. Like, it's the best.
I heard that about 5.6.
Well, maybe you did. I didn't hear that. I heard 5.7 is actually really, really good from some devs. So it's like, great. This isn't on 5.7, obviously, because this happened before 5.7 was even in devs' hands. But it's like, I think we are gonna get to a point where Unreal Engine 5 is really good. Just like we went through similar things with Unreal Engine 4. But Unreal Engine 4 today is like a really it's like Unreal Engine 4 got to the point it was way quicker than Unreal Engine 5. Granted, Unreal Engine 5 is doing a lot more different things with lighting and Anite and all this other more aggressive stuff. I think we would get to a point when Unreal Engine 5 is really nice and usable, but then that's the point of when they already announced an Unreal Engine 6. Like, it's the cycle that never ends because they always move on. It's like, once Unreal Engine 5 gets to that point where probably maybe a year or 2 years from now, where it's like we can stop worrying about the stutter and be like, okay, this is actually in a really good spot, we're going to have Unreal Engine 6 docs, where it's like games will still use Unreal Engine 5 for probably the next 15 years, honestly. Just with Unreal Engine 4, it's like Final Fantasy 7, whatever it's going to be called, is still an Unreal Engine 4. So it's like...
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's still an Unreal Engine 4. So yeah,
I mean,
so
good
like,
for that. That's why the game run. Wait, no, it doesn't run well at launch. Though.
Yeah, true. It doesn't run great, but it's like that's the thing. I was like, we're still gonna get to a point where like devs. I genuinely think Unreal Engine 5 will be used for the next at least 10 years. So like,
probably
it's gonna get to a point where it's better. But yes, its current stage is just like it's such a hit or miss, and for the most part, it's usually missing. And it's like, and I'm not gonna put it all on the engine because the fact that this game is catwalked on PC. Like, how are you catwalking a game on PC in 2025? How?
Dude, it's insane.
Doesn't make sense. Like, it is truthfully, you're gonna hate to hear me say it. I would not play this game day one. I will wait for the modders to uncap the frame.
Trust me, Fusion. I do not want you to play one of the greatest video game experiences of all time. Go, my frames. Just wait. I don't want you touching this.
I'm waiting for them to fix it, or at the very least, the modding community, which they'll probably do in 2 weeks because they just do better jobs than the devs half the time.
Don't expect Virtuos to fix it. They took 2 months to fix Oblivion, and even fix it.
I know I'll be clowned on, but I'm going to spin this to like something like Falcom, which is a developer that heavily invested in an in-house engine and now can pump out a game a year.
Like, I'm not going to clown on you, Bench. That's a great point. If you actually put in the time for your own engine, which yes is a lot of work, and it really has screwed developers in the past. I mean, look at Frostbite. But if you put in the time and effort to do it, you make a banger. And now, granted, a lot of times they do that and it turns into Slipstream. And there's a reason why Unreal Engine is the AAA standard. It's because that's what AAA developers are used to working on. But when it's this unoptimized, it has this many issues. It gets to a point where it's like, maybe we should try other engines. Maybe this is Konami. You still have the Fox engine. Like, just use that. It's like, again, I'm putting Fusion. Half of this is on Unreal Engine. The other half is on Virtuos. Virtuos is really fucking bad at this because they keep taking on so many projects, and they laid off like 5% of their staff at one point. And it's like, how do you expect to take on this many projects and still do layoffs? Like, clearly you are the problem here. But I'm sorry, I cut you off, Bench. Continue what you were saying.
I mean, yeah, just like look at Falcom, a game a year, and I mean, looking at, I'm sure most of you have seen like the Sky remake footage. Like those games, obviously not photorealistic, but they've just gotten better and better with time as they improve the engine, and you can see the technological, like the improvement of the work with the engine over the games. And like, if developers invested in stuff like that, I think it'd be very good. It also helps keeping like your same 70 and under staff for as long as they want to be there, and everyone's on the same page and doesn't have to worry about losing your jobs. But that's a different conversation.
Now, I will say, with all this issues about performance, the game itself is clearly very, very good still. It's clear that they went in. It was the MGS5 gameplay loop. I was watching the Kind of Funny review, and one of the main sticking points is, the game's a little too easy now because of that MGS5 gameplay. It kind of breaks the game at points. I wonder if upping the difficulty level would help in that. I'm curious about that. But it seems like, hey, they went in. It was a very faithful remake. It's still the same voice lines and whatnot. I'm very excited. I'm still very excited. This is a very special franchise for me. I love this game to pieces. It has some of my favorite aspects of any Kojima game are all present in 3. So I'm ready to play this. It's just, I wish I didn't have to go in and it's like, is it going to stay at 60? Is it going to be this? Like, I hate how the conversation around this game is basically now like the performance, which, I kind of expected.
Although I'm very excited to experience the story with some great stealth gameplay. I'm sure it'll still be a great time.
Be very careful.
Yeah, it's just crazy looking at like the Digital Foundry video this morning and how it seems to be a Konami thing right now where the PS5 Pro version seems to be worse than the base PlayStation 5 version. Like, how is that even a thing?
Yeah, it was a 720p on PS5 Pro. Have fun, Bench.
Yeah, not even 720, but also the fact that the frame rate in a lot of places is worse on the Pro than the base PS5. Like, it was dipping to 30 frames per second in some scenes.
This Pro?
Someone from
Can
Easy
you
Allies
turn off
kind of
Pro?
say. No. But there's one graphics mode on Pro, and I know
Can I
someone from
unpro
Easy
the Pro?
I know
I'm
someone
tired
from
of
Easy
this.
Allies said it wasn't. They had no issues because I know that obviously it is going to upscale, and there are some aspects of like fidelity and stuff that are just better over the PS5's quality mode as well. Even if yes, it should definitely be better. But I'm gonna play it on the Pro because I got to.
Well, that's all for the reviews. Let's talk real quick about what we've been playing to make this short. Battlefield 6 open beta weekend is over. I missed this game already. I am of the mind of like, I'm probably going to pick this up at launch just because I had so much fun on that open beta. Fusion, did you have any updated thoughts on the beta? I love that new map, Empire State. I think it was called that.
I don't know what it was called, but I did like the new map. But no, basically the same thoughts as last time. Honestly, the more I keep playing it, the more I'm less likely to get it at launch. And none of my friends want to play it, so it is. It's what it is,
you said they were all in, and now they're like, I'm out.
Yeah, they're out. They didn't even play the beta. I think they're just out on multiplayer as a general. Like they don't want Call of Duty. It is what it is. Like whatever.
I mean, I've seen a lot of chatter about the Black Ops 7 trailer. A lot of people seem to be very upset about this game.
Yeah, it's same cycle every year, so.
But Fusion, you also got a Switch too. You want to talk real quick? Your current impressions? I mean, you just got this thing earlier this week, I want to say.
Yeah, like 3 days ago. I'll keep it short. I haven't played like anything serious on it. Like it came with the Mario Kart, so like I played a little bit of World, nothing crazy, just like loaded up, played a little bit of that. but I've been playing the classic Mario games from the 80s, so like it's getting the
yeah.
job done. You know what I mean? I got this brand new Switch
It
too.
starts stuttering. You're like, what the fuck?
Got a brand new console and I'm playing games that are actually 40 years old, but like it's been fun to go through there. The entire point was like I was going to get this Switch 2 at some point, no matter what, but it was the thing of I had $150 at Best Buy I had to use. It expired Sunday, like this past Sunday. And then there was the thing with the tariffs where I saw an article that they're like, expect the Switch to go up at least one time again. I'm like, I just need to get the thing. Like at this point, I have to use the $150 and just use it. You know what I mean? I just use it. I got it. And it's like, so I haven't had a lot of time with it. I've been playing more dock than anything, which just is what it is. Like those games, I would love to play more handheld with it, but I don't know if it's just the old Mario's, but like it's too hard.
I get it.
The little joysticks and everything, and like even the D-pad. Like when I use handheld, I have to use the D-pad, and you know me, I don't use D-pad for my platformers, but I physically cannot use those joysticks when I'm using that thing handheld for Mario. So it's like I just can't do it. So I haven't been. I try like a few levels a night before I get to bed with it, but I have been playing it mostly docked in. I mean, it looks really good, and I think the dock itself is clean. I think the Switch itself looks nice. Wish the screen was OLED still, but I'm more excited for a few months from now when we get Metroid and more like actual exclusives. I think I'm at the point now where I can fully admit I'm only going to use this thing ever for exclusives, which is what it is.
Which is expected. I mean, Silksong, it was announced to be 120 FPS, I think, on Switch 2.
It was.
That get you interested in jumping in on
it? Honestly, just because I love my 8-bit DOE controller on my PC that I use, and I can't use it on my Switch, and it's like I don't want the thing of like I just the Pro controller doesn't feel the Switch Pro controller, the first one doesn't feel good enough for me to want to use it for an entire Hollow Knight Silksong run. And it's also like, yeah, 120 is awesome and nice for like if I wanted to play handheld, but it's like my PC is gonna get 300 plus. You know, what I mean, like it's still going to look way better on my PC.
You don't even see it past 120.
Speak for yourself. I'm telling you, there's a difference. So like,
I'm telling you, I want to see you do the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour fucking frame rate test. That shit is impossible. You cannot tell the difference.
And it's just like the game's just going to run, like the game, like I don't know. It's just, I'm just going to get this game on my PC. The story.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I mean, I use Nintendo devices mostly for exclusives, so I don't blame you there.
It's just the thing of like I wanted to do more third-party handheld stuff on the Switch 2, and I think I'm at the point of that's never going to happen, sadly. And I think if I ever truly want that, I have to invest in something like a Steam Deck.
Oh, don't do that to yourself. That's
I
way less
plan
comfortable.
on it.
It's way less comfortable. All right. Well, I think that's it.
I do have. I played Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. That was a little disappointing. And then I've been playing 100 Line Last Defense Academy. And that's just twisting the Danganronpa style on its head in a positive way, and I'm enjoying that so far.
Nerd.
All right.
And like I said, I played Sword of the Sea. I beat through that, and then to pull the bench, I finished Trails of Cold Steel 1 this past week. 40 hours later, or close to 45 hours later, I finally beat it, and I'm proud of myself for actually sticking through with it. I don't know what came over me, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna beat this damn game. And
what is
now
it? It's like you have like 4 more left now.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Thankfully, 2 is actually the shortest, so I think I can actually maybe beat that one by the end of the year. So hey, 2 Trails games in a year. I think I can do this.
2 is like 30 hours if you rush it, like I did.
There's also the remake of Sky next month.
Yeah, and I know I'm not gonna do. I'm convinced myself I'm not gonna do that.
That's officially my most anticipated. That opening and the previews blew me away. I'm ready.
Yeah, I played the demo, and it's just too different from old. Like it's like being a caveman and being teleported to the future, and even technology. Like, what is going on? It's so different but familiar at the same time. Like I can't. I just know I won't be able to like bounce back and forth between the two styles. Like I just have to just get through all the older stuff and then just like slowly progress through it like in a natural timeline, like naturally evolve through the process instead of just jumping all the way to the newer stuff. So I'm just going to ignore the remake, just get to it naturally. By the time I get to that remake, like Sky 2 remake is going to probably be out. So I'll just naturally get to that remake when the time comes.
Trails one day. I did like that first game a lot, so I'd like to get back, but Fucking 80 of them.
And
All right.
another every year.
Well, boys, this was a good podcast. Hour and a half. We kept it lean. God bless. Really had a lot of fun. Thank you, Fusion. Thank you, Moon. Thank you, Bench. I had a great time. Hope you guys had a great time. Now, let's get out of here. I'm tired. I want to go. I don't know what I'm gonna do actually. I'll figure it out.
I
if you
need to
guys
get
are,
back to my indies before something comes out. Actually, no, I'm just waiting for Silent Hill, basically.
yeah, I mean, as next
Mhm.
week, so maybe just throw in some like short games for the next couple weeks. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever your favorite podcasts are. Review it, helps us out a ton. I also like the podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at A Slice of Gaming. With that, thank you all for watching. Have a good night, everybody. Say good night.
Green Cherry, please
Good
send us a
night.
code. I know you're not sending out codes, but I deserve one, I feel like.
Jeff, take notes. Keep the show tight.